Hi everyone, I'm Sneha. If you're new here, I'm an entrepreneur. I started this business last year in the month of April. I upcycle fabric waste into handbags and scrunchies and so many other products. I'll put up a link if you're interested to check it out. And when I started the business, I knew that I was not really in that mindset of being an entrepreneur, so I started working a lot on myself, and there was so much shift internally within me and spiritually. So I want to share all those learnings from through my journey, and that's how I started getting more active on different platforms. I started a podcast and Instagram. I've always been active because I run my business on Instagram. And last month, yeah, I think by the time you see this video, it would be last month in January. I started. Um, Making videos on YouTube. So this is my second YouTube video. Um, if you have seen the first YouTube video, it was about vision board and setting goals and manifesting. So when I was thinking what to what to start with for the second video. I remembered yesterday I put up a question sticker on Instagram, and there was someone who asked me if I could tell about few books related to manifestation, and that's when I remembered that I have actually not really read any books as such specific to manifestation as such. My journey basically started mostly by watching lots of YouTube videos because I started getting curious about these terms. It's not like I had not read before, but I was not believing it, and I had just started to learn a lot more on those words like law of attraction, manifestation, and spirituality. It was just mostly YouTube videos, and there was this one YouTuber called Oh My Annie. I think I was reconnecting a lot with her because of her life journey, and she had recommended a lot of books in one of her YouTube channel, and the one that caught my eye was this. You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. This book, my goodness, it changed so much in me in terms of understanding money. So whenever someone asks me about how I got into all of this manifesting, it was first of all not something that I kind of like I thought I have to do it. I have to become spiritual. I have to get into manifestation. It was not something like that. My only goal was I'm starting a business and I have to be successful and I have to make money. So that's when I used to see a lot of videos related to money, because I have a very, very bad reputation in terms of managing money. I've never been good at that. So I just wanted to be very, very sure that I get a stronger grip in terms of money, because business is not just like some random thing that you're just starting and you're just gonna let it go off because something is not working out in terms of money. So I wanted to be very strong in terms of that. So that's when I started looking out a lot towards people who talk a lot more about money in good terms, because we all have those limiting beliefs with money, like money money doesn't buy happiness, money doesn't grow on trees. So anyway, this is that one book that I recommend. So this changed a lot for me, not just in terms of money. Whenever, every time, not just once or twice, every time I have been confused about anything, any decision that I have to make or anything in general, if I just randomly open this book, I have always landed on the page that has answer for my doubts or confusion. So it is not just like a book for me that changed a lot about money. It is a lot more than that, and I really like the author too. She's like very humorous. It's quite quite a funny book where you don't really get bored of it as such. And her journey is quite incredible too. She realized that when she was 40 years old, she realized that she has to change her life, and she changed her life at that time. So if you're watching this video and like that other YouTuber who suggested the book, and it did change a lot for me, so I'm hoping this would also help you in looking at your life from a different perspective. And also, if you're someone who's like currently thinking that you're too old to start something, so I would just want to say, take her life as an example. At 40, she realized that she wanted to achieve bigger things in life, and she is now a multi-millionaire with so many businesses along with her. And she has a whole series, if I'm not wrong, called You're a Badass and Many Things. This one is You're a Badass at Making Money. So I just want to see what must be there when I open the book now. Let's see. It says, and the moment I switched how I was thinking when I went from no way to there must be a way in a flash, I suddenly realized what was perhaps the biggest obstacle that had been holding me back from making money for my entire life. There are a whole bunch of tricks that will help you unearth your deep-seated money-repelling subconscious beliefs, and I'm going to start with the most powerful, which is this. Hurl yourself into the fire, run face first toward your biggest fear. Take big, audacious action in the direction of your dreams, and do not let the fact that you're wetting your pants stop you. For me, the combo of forking over such a gigantic chunk of change and the realization of just how big and visible I could get if I applied myself at this level launched me into an alternate reality. The possibility of the money and the success felt really, really, really real for the first time, and it freaked the little prince right out of me. So yes, if you're reading this, it is no coincidence. As always, I don't believe in coincidence anymore. You are meant to see this. So I hope the message has reached you. And another book that I recently was recommended was this. It's called The Law of Divine Compensation, and it's written by Marianne Williamson. I think there is something with me and female authors, because I have impulsively just like randomly purchased some books, and there are none of it I got connected to very well, and I then realized that these two books that I got connected to, they are female authors, and those other books are all written by male. And again, there is nothing, I don't have anything against men, but there is some kind of feminine connection, I think, is what makes me attached to these books. As you can see, these are my favorite books. It's like so many things that I have marked around. This book is quite simple. It explains she explains the law of universe in a much simpler words. It is not complex as it looks. It's really good for people who are just starting up with, if you want to have a deeper meaning towards spirituality and the source, if you've heard these words of source energy. And yeah, this would be something that you could read. And the next question was, what small things can I do to make a huge difference in oneself? For me personally, it was always been about applying nail paint. When I was about to shoot the first video a few weeks ago, I was terrified to face the camera. I was like just walking around the house, procrastinating it every half an hour, and then I just looked at my nails and it was not painted. So I thought, okay, let me just paint the nails at least. And then in like few minutes, I had some kind of energy that was lifted in me, and I started recording the video. And this was not the first time. It has happened so many times that every time I have certain things to do and I'm feeling a little off, I don't want to do, I just want to lift myself up, or there's something that a fear is like holding me back for not doing it, applying nail paint has always helped me. So anyway, I also want to say, please don't buy nail paints that has chemicals. This is a toxin-free one which I purchased from Mini so long ago. I also do not use any cosmetics that is of the major brands. The lipstick is from Disguise. The kajal is also from Disguise, which is a vegan and cruelty-free and toxic-free brand. Anyway, getting back to the question, so yes, these smaller things we usually, I think, we actually tend to avoid, because that's what is always told us, like do make to do big things, you need to make big changes in life. But it's always this small little things, when we are especially if you're in a creative field, and creative work needs a lot of creative thinking, and that comes out of doing little things, watching small things, like maybe moving I love watching clouds and making animal shapes with it, and which I think most of you do too. And just soaking in the sun rays, or maybe just eating a small snack, going outside and having a small cup of coffee. So anything that you enjoy doing it may not be the same for everybody, but whatever you always like doing for yourself, which you may have ignored it because you always thought that there's something big that you have to do. So find out what those small things are, and that is such a huge dopamine booster for the body, for you to shift from that vibration. And one more thing that I shared in the reel today also is about music, and I think this, most of us, it's a very common thing for all of us. Music always changes that vibration. If you're not even to be on the a low vibe or something, even this morning when I was feeling a little lazy to wake up, I just wanted to wake up, because I had so many things planned for the day, and I was energetic. I wanted to wake up, but I was still feeling like just like lying down on the bed, and I started playing a song, and I just suddenly woke up, and it was all of a good mood altogether. And especially in the mornings, it makes a lot of difference, because the way we wake up is how the whole day is how it defines. And it of course need not be always the same, that you don't always wake up with a lot of energy and a lot of positivity, but you can always change the day. You can always do things that that alters a bit. Maybe for some people, applying makeup makes a big difference, and for some people, eating their favorite food makes a big difference all through the day. So find out what those little nuggets are for you to upgrade yourself to that next level. So anyway, since now I'm also a coach, I have created this transformational worksheet in terms of habit, especially habit. I wanted to do it so badly, because since I was a kid, I always knew that I wanted, like, I was going to be successful in whatever I do. But with so many things that happened, it was just not, whatever I venture into, whatever I wanted to study, I didn't study. Whatever I wanted to work in, I did not do. So all of those things and all combined into a trauma, and I had a lot of fear in facing so many things. And the biggest thing was my subconscious block that I had towards everything else that I wanted to achieve. And in my corporate jobs, I've actually worked for about six and a half years of in corporate jobs. Every time I see a seminar related to motivation, I used to go and attend, because I knew the job was not for me. I knew I had something more in me that I wanted to do. and I wanted to change myself, and I used to attend every seminar, workshops that was related to motivation, to motivate myself. And every time it was the same result: get excited, next day like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and nothing would ever happen. I don't know why most of these speakers, or what do you call them, yeah, speakers, they don't really talk much about the subconscious mind programming. They don't go deep into it, because that's where everything is. Like, the subconscious mind is the boss, is the one who drives our whole life. So I'm not saying habit is the only one that changes everything, but it is one of the most important thing. Say, for example, you want to achieve and do big things in life, and you're just being lazy all the time and lying around on the couch. I have done that also, so I'm just saying it, using my own example. It will not, nothing is going to happen, nothing is going to come and fall on you when you're just being lazy and lying on the couch. So there's a lot of subconscious reprogramming that we have to do. At least for me, my god, it was years of work, years of stagnant, what is that word I'm looking for, habit that I had, which I had to replace. And I'm still working on a lot of habits that I have to work on. I'm finally feeling that it is coming on track. Today I did so many things. I recorded this YouTube video, I wrote an episode for podcast, my blog is in the right place. I'm gonna write a lot more on the blog, so it is getting onto the place, but it was a lot of months and months and months of work. So I personally think this one change in us, in our habit, can lead to anything that we want to achieve, because all of us can be successful. It's not like only like some people are lucky and some are not. All of us can be successful, all of us are worthy of being rich, all of us can achieve our dreams, whatever we aim at. So habit is one of those major things that can have a major influence in this, towards your goals, whatever your goals are. So I created this sheet which I just thought will be for about 5 or 6 pages, and that went on up to 17 pages. It is available for free. I'll put up the link in the description. You can download it. And I also kind of was intuitively called to start this, about like free sessions to whoever is starting their new business. Because when I started the business, I wouldn't say I struggled, but I kind of felt a little alone. I had no support from family. That was one thing, because nobody is an entrepreneur. I'm not blaming them. Nobody knew what I was doing, and even none of my friends are entrepreneurs, so I could not really use guidance from anybody. Everything I owe to myself was to the internet. So I'm so grateful for the existence of the internet. But I was kind of feeling that if I had some support from someone who can understand what I was going through, it would have been a lot helpful. So for that, I just want to, if anybody who's watching this, or anybody who's just starting off the business, who is a little uncomfortable on what ground rules to lay on to start the business, please reach out to me. I'll put up the link for that form too. It's like about 30 minutes free coaching that I want to do. I think I'll keep it open as many days as possible. And the third one is, since I mentioned it was all about money and the money mindset, and that's how this whole journey started. And that's how I when I decided that like being financially independent was the biggest aim of this whole thing. So it was not just about me. I was always thinking of all the women who are like struggling to get financially independent, and I'm sure most of them don't know that money is energy and it is so simple to attract money. It is not as complex as we think it is, because it's always told us that struggling hard gives us money. That's what makes us think that it is really difficult to attract money. So as when I started the business, I of course did not know that I will be a coach after few months. But since my goal was about my eternal goal, which is still the same, to be financially independent, and I want to help as many people as I can. Especially my soft corner is of course towards women, but men are welcome too. If you want to apply for the coaching program, I'll put up that link as well in the description. This of course is very exciting, because this is something that came to my mind just few days ago when I was dancing all around the house. This is something that whatever I worked on personally, whatever I went through, and how I had to break each and every limiting belief every time it came in, because it's not even now I can say that it is not like you completely heal from everything at once, because healing, learning, everything is a continuous journey. It's not something, I don't think anybody is like, they say that they're fully healed and they're fully learned and they're like experts and everything. Experts, yeah, in that field, but I always want to be that student of the life eternally, who wants to learn and expand more and heal more, because that's what it is. Especially any form of limiting belief, not just with money. That's what I've noticed. I remember one day I was just lying, putting my head on the pillow and bagging myself. It was like, my God, I've just coming out of one and there's another one coming up. So that's how it is. But the best part is I know that it's a continuous process. It's not something that will happen overnight. So it's all whatever I have learned. I will share all of those with you and see how much ever I can help. Even on the YouTube or on Instagram, even if you don't want to apply, that's still okay. So how much ever you can learn from YouTube, how much ever you can learn from Instagram or on the podcast. A new episode of the podcast also will come up tomorrow. And now my blog is also active, so if you're not somebody who do not read, you do not listen you do not listen to podcasts, you can read on the website. So I'll catch you all a little later. Bye bye. Hi everyone, it's Monday evening as I record this. It's about 5:30 p.m. I'll probably wrap up this whole video for today. Last night I was recording my third episode of the podcast, and I was just reflecting and backtracking on how all of it happened. I remember when I recorded the first episode, I was so terrified. I was continuously deleting it and recording it again, and I was thinking the way I speak, there's something wrong, and there was so much of insecurity I had with my voice. I was feeling this some kind of a mistake all the time, and I was repeatedly recording it again and again. So I did not record the second episode for like 3 months. September is on my birthday is when I launched the podcast. September end I recorded the first episode. You can already see there was a month gap because I was so scared, and then I took like another 3 months gap. There was a lot of big changes happening around that time. That was one thing, but I was also scared a bit. So the second episode was on Jan 15th and now, like I said yesterday, I keep saying yesterday, tomorrow, but you'll all be watching the video at the same time. So anyway, I also feel time is an illusion, so just take it as you receive it. What was I saying? Yeah, so I was saying the about the podcast and YouTube, everything is like in place. I'm able to do everything now as per how I want it to happen. So last night, after I spoke to you guys on YouTube, I recorded the third episode, and I realized I no more have that fear of being judged, fear of having that feeling that there's something wrong with the way I speak and all of that. I recorded it in like one flow. It's the same even with YouTube. The main reason why I always delayed being on YouTube was because I was terrified of being in front of camera. So anyway, I'll get into much more detail in other maybe in the next few videos in specific on how to overcome all of those things and what I did, and I'll talk about that in detail. But I just wanted to share, as last night I was getting a little emotional on how I have overcome all those fears, especially when like I have always wanted to be on camera since I was a kid. I was always so obsessed with movies. I wanted to do something in the creative field. I wanted to be a dancer and so many things. Everything was related to be in front of camera. So anyway, I had of course developed such huge chunk of insecurity and fear to be in front of camera, and when I launched the business, Reels was like being promoted a lot on Instagram, so that required to be in front of camera, to move around, to dance, and I was so scared. And that's when I had to like work a lot on myself, because I had to show up to sell my products in for Reels. But even then I was very scared. I used to just like wake up and just delete some of the Reels, thinking people are thinking that I am stupid and I look very weird in this and I don't look good. Yeah, like I said, I'll get deeper into it, but I just wanted to say that I think I've mentioned this on Instagram. I remember once I was always so obsessed with movies. When I was in college, I remember telling this to one of my friend that did I mention this in the first video? I don't remember, but anyway, I don't mind mentioning it again, as it's something that got manifested so easily. I remember telling her that I wish our life was like movies, like music playing around in the background and we are all happy and we're all dancing around. And I remember telling her that, and she had made fun of me that you should hire some bands who beat drums and walk around behind you. So when I was few months back, when in the very initial stages of the business, when I was thinking on shooting Reels, that's when I realized whenever these movie dialogues or these famous movie music becomes trending, I would get so excited to shoot Reels for that. That's when I was switching a lot towards my personal page from the business page, because in business page I could not explore those things, and this other creative side I could do it on my personal page. And I think that's why it got connected even more and it came out naturally to me. So I used to think, oh my god, this like finally happened, that whatever I wished for. So this is why I want to say not to dream small. Keep up your dreams, how much ever it is. Don't label it as small or big anyway. But if at all you're feeling any of your dream is like unachievable, it is like not even like in your radar, you don't know how it's gonna happen, don't worry about all of those things. This is something I randomly mentioned. Who knew that Reels would be introduced at that time when I was in college? Who knew the technology would be so advanced that all of us can live our life like it's a movie? Who knew I would be making YouTube videos and sharing my life and putting music in the background? So don't restrict yourself with dreams. Don't even think that it may not be achievable, because you don't know. you it may, whether it's going to take time or not, it's not in our control, it's none of our business. Whenever the time is right, it will come to you. So don't stop dreaming. And one more important thing that I wanted to say again with respect to YouTube also, when I recorded the first video, the last video, I have recorded it so many times, I had to like again delete it so many times. And in the end, in the last video is when I realized that I had recorded all of those videos in slow motion. Yes, all of them in slow motion, and only when I realized the last clipping, I had switched it over, and okay, it was not a slow motion. My God, I was so upset that it happened, and then I realized immediately that it was not much of a big deal. It was very small tweak that I could just do in editing, and it turned to a normal video. So thank God for that. What did I want to say? Yeah, so after I shared the YouTube video on when I shared on Instagram that I have created my first YouTube video, there was this girl who messaged me saying she also had this insecurity to start, and she's also someone who wanted to be in the limelight all the time, and she also wants to start a YouTube channel. Anyway, I'm not just saying that all of us would dream the same way, all of us would want to be in limelight, all of us have to do reels and do on YouTube. I'm just referring that as an example with mine. So your dreams can be anything, whatever you want, but just come out of that fear. There was this. I used to be very insecure even about the kind of things that I have in the house. I used to feel that I don't have great furniture to do reels, I don't have good equipment to do videos. Anyway, I'm still the same person even now that I was few months ago. I still live in the same house, I still have the same furniture, but I had the choice to make the way it looks. I had the chance to correct all of those things. So with whatever you have, you can still do amazing things with the equipments you have. So don't think that you need like big things, that is coming from a lack mentality. That's how we were all trained, that you have to do this, only then you will get this. But to start, you actually don't really need any of that. I'm very sure of all of the famous YouTubers that I used to follow, I've seen their oldest videos, and none of them had any fancy equipments to start with. So just start, let go of the fear. It's not at all easy, it's not easy as it's said, but it is very uncomfortable. It takes a lot of time and courage to come out of it. Time again is left to you on how you want to deal with time, but it is uncomfortable, it is very difficult, it is very terrifying. I would say the number of times I had to even these things, like this is why I don't stop when I'm like stammering or when I lose the words, because I don't want to. I want to keep it as raw as it can, so that it inspires anybody who is going through this or is facing that fear, that it is normal. It is very normal to have that. You don't have to have that fancy looking video, which eventually it will get into there. But you don't really have to chase that perfection. Don't have to be that perfect thing to happen. You don't have to have millions of views in the first view just because your video doesn't look good. So don't worry about all of that. Most importantly, please don't worry about the perfection. Don't worry on how others are going to view your thing. So that's something I think is ingrained in all of us, that what will others think. So others will think whatever they think. You have no control over what they think. So you do you, let them do what they want to do, let them think what they want to think, and that's it. That's all I wanted to say. And end this video for now. I'll put up all the links for whatever I told about the podcast and about my Instagram page, and let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help. So take care. Thank you so much for watching my not so perfect YouTube video. I don't know why I keep saying YouTube video. It can just be a video, right? So anyway, thank you. Bye bye.